Obviously I'm reporting live from Lombok. I've been filming and like documenting the actual disparity and like how much of this community, this specific community just outside of Sengigi, has been affected pretty badly. Like Safawi's, most of his extended family. So it's not like, and I'm thinking we're just helping him and his wife and children rebuild, but then he basically took me around the whole area to show me all of his brothers and sisters, and then his wife's brother and parents, and it's yeah, all the bricks and mortar are gone. There was a rain shower at one point, and one of the guys was like, because I was like, oh, there were my connections. They don't have proper shelter, and it like freaked out. The earthquake, I didn't feel it, but like hell, something was happening because of the way they and like did a little or if this actually anywho, I'm just gonna trust. So okay, someone's here. Normally if you're here and you can see me, because my screen's loading, so I'm actually not sure if this is actually if I'm sharing anything right now, but I'm gonna endeavor to try. And there's actually a lot of kind of transmission and downloads coming through right now in these last few days. Some of you know, like, I've been definitely having some emotional release and really profound insights and waves with regards to like the depth of darkness here. Hey Celie Jane, how are you? And ultimately what so much of humanity is resistance to, which is that depth of our feeling ability and traversing consciousness, which is actually the ability to root out the darkness on this planet, which on an energetic level we've really been doing and have been doing. Nice one, Celie Jane. See, we're all together in this, and there's some sort of intuitive and divine recognition of the work that we're doing and endeavoring, because the pain and the darkness on the physical plane is so painful for us, right? So it's that triggering of our inner pain which is helping us to rise in love and compassion, and then that higher vibrational frequency of humanity is what's rooting out these dark forces. So the dark forces are ultimately like a false grid and a false timeline, and kind of the convolutedness of it is what is kind of tricky to root out or explain to people, because people ultimately, ignorance is bliss, right? So what we're here facing now is as we awaken, looking around at our brothers and sisters who are still in resistance, or who don't have faith in humanity and don't, or are more concerned about, you know, buying stuff and proving their worth via like getting on the property ladder and all that kind of stuff. And every time I'm seeing different threads of people being like, oh yeah, I own property or this or that, I'm acutely aware that having a mortgage is like a death grip. Having a, and I'm not, I don't want to make anybody feel bad about their what they possess, right? And having kind of a vision, it's like waves of energy flowing through us and through everyone. Exactly, that's very resonant to the kind of visions and insights they've had when it comes to quantum manifestation, when it comes to the understanding of quantum reality, and how we as a collective are actually manifesting. When you said clearing the dark, so we as empaths or light workers or whatever are energetically through the vessel that we are actually in these emotional waves that we're allowing to feel through us. That on a quantum level, it's that recognition of us owning the pain that we feel that is ultimately sending ripples out into the human collective consciousness. So this is why we're seeing this sort of turbulent evolution of people awakening to the fact that there is a distorted reality here. There is a distorted and dark and corrupted reality. I'm hearing via a kind of a black hole, via a fallen state, which again is still part of a divine restoration, and yet here we are now in this next phase of this divine restoration that is digging deep and actually, and again I'm seeing it, it's like uprooting it. they can't sustain the stronghold that they've had for millennia here when we're in our power, when we're in our divinity, when we're in our light. And so the other thread that's coming through when it comes to our brothers and sisters is this reality of taking, and this underlying fearful reality which basically it justifies people's enslavement. But then the weird aspect of enslavement and victimhood is that we end up being like suckers of energy as well. We end up just trying to give to get, and it's all a kind of like this sort of distorted selfishness of the ego, of like trying to prove ourselves and at the same time divide ourselves from one another. And that is so much for me part of the Alta Love movement. Nice one, Seeley. For me, the Alta Love movement was born out of seeing the level of greed, and then seeing the ignorance of how really good, intelligent people or whatever is like driving people to just want to buy and just want to have stuff to power over, and yet so many people are in need. And what I see is that the majority of humanity is struggling, and most people are literally just trying to survive. But then we have this media, including social media, which is kind of trying to tell this story of like how great life is, and let's all just make lots of money and da 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 da. But I swear to God, I'm starting to get that like anything that's an industry, anything that is tied into that old paradigm economy is essentially corrupted. And it's only as I continue on the path, on this guided path, where you know, in my personal circumstances, people might project onto me that I have lots of money, or I'm doing this or the other. It's never been like that. I've literally just been guided where finances have bottomed out a lot, and I just have to continue to transform the fear of lack from within me, and then continue to ask of myself to keep giving, no matter what. Just keep giving, just keep sharing, right? Because in my purest heart, I have no desire to take anything from this world. I have no desire to get or prove anything to that old paradigm, right? Most of us here that are aligned in vibrational frequency with this channel, it's the fact that we are literally here birthing a new civilization. And this civilization means, and this is why I'm connecting to Sasha Stone at New Earth Project, is that this civilization has to do with us being on a level playing field versus these invisible contracts and these sort of intertwined, corrupted contracts that we have to be born here, but then the distorted reality is a reality of enslavement. Our energy is being siphoned, basically. Our enslavement fear patterning from within our old blueprint is actually what allows the system to stay fixed in place, right? So the more we integrate the higher vibrational frequencies and continue to give of self, which is a pure giving via the channel of higher consciousness, in some intuitive divine recognition that this old paradigm of divide and conquer, where we're against one another and we fight one another and we rape and pillage the planet and one another, that perception of reality is what we're transforming ultimately, right? So it's in transforming that from within our own consciousness and rising our own energy into the heart space, and then downloading those higher frequencies or higher consciousness through mind into heart space, that we actually allow ourselves to birth this new reality. And it's quantum, so it doesn't, there's a lot of emotional release and emotional transformation, in my experience anyway, that needs to take place in our vessel for us to truly understand this. Because I'm still having this slight interaction of people just wanting stuff from me, and people wanting to take stuff, and I can feel the distortion, right? And so I'm really having to continue to rise in my own integrity and be firm with saying no, and or be firm in my intuitive knowing of the energy of source, right? The energy of pure light and love, even though I know that people project onto me various other things that they might still be carrying, because I've seen firsthand how the victim consciousness basically divides and conquers. I've had direct experience of people in victimhood dividing myself with other people. and I allow it to happen because I know it's all, everyone has this divine free will, and yet that's why I'm being asked to kind of break free from Facebook and Instagram, and because there's some sort of loop happening that doesn't align with where my next phase of evolution is going, and YouTube is still a platform for me to, I feel anyway, share in my integrity and in my authenticity, and then basically see where life is gonna guide me, because I fully have surrendered now. I have no real idea exactly how things are going to play out, but I know in truth, as long as I'm vibrating from that pure heart field and maintain the vision of a golden paradise planet, sweet, yeah, I think we're going to see a mass exodus and transformation around social media, because there's too many corrupted, convoluted layers. And even in this whole like light worker, like spiritual communities, there's still a lot of divide and conquer energy when we're looped into social media for business purposes, right? Same, right? I'm just feeling the same. Like yesterday, it was yesterday on the full moon that it was like a boom, you're done. I have no desire to go onto my Facebook feed. I'm still having to send messages to some local people here that I've got money for on Instagram, but I don't know why. I just know that yesterday the powerful guidance was, I'm sweating like that the guidance was to come off of it now. So I've sort of posted my final post. There's content there for more people who are going to be bridging into the new. But for whatever reason, YouTube still feels like a more sovereign platform that isn't as corrupted. But we will have to see how it goes. But this is why we're now reaching out and connecting with one another in resonance, right? The ones who, if you're really vibing me and not wanting to take anything from me or get something from me, then we're in harmony with one another, right? And our paths are aligned. And it doesn't mean that they might not continue to align. But what I recognize is that there's many delayering and kind of delayering of wounded patterns from within self that we need to face within self. And I'm aware of how when we're still not integrating enough, we just project our bullshit onto one another, basically. Oh man, you guys are freaking awesome. I love you. So basically I'm here. It was quite like poignant to share the money. Safawi was there. It is like that, right? We have it and that's been like the last I should stop that, LOL. Well, and here's the thing is that our empowerment has to do a lot with our ability to transcend and move through the fear. I'm aware of that. Like, I'm aware that some of the shit that I'm about to head into is like the darkest of the dark on this planet. But my vibration is light enough for me to face it and integrate it and own it. And stand it down, basically. Like, stand it down and say, like, this darkness here has no place here anymore. And that's what we're uprooting. And they know it, because I've had visions of crafts leaving this field of energy, of super dark energetic entities that are actually being purged from within Hollow Earth. So now the fact that we're all connecting in this crazy and miraculous intuitive way tells me that we are in our new paradigm, that we have given birth to new paradigm. And there's still part of us that maybe wants to escape our new realities. Guys, I just took away I'm so sweating and hot. And there might be still energetic things that you need to traverse, but we're gonna do it. And I know as well, you guys, I love you so much. So it's almost like as well with the Fearless Life Guide, this book that I've written, that is like a legacy for all to love, to leave for newly awakened souls who start to have those sparks of higher consciousness recognition. Is that the embodiment process is about moving your body and owning and transforming all of your energetic triggers, regardless whether it's yours or anyone else's. If you're feeling it, and if you know how to hold your light and do the alchemical work of transformation, then it's your job. You just fucking do it, because we're in service to one another whether we like it or not, right? No, same Seal. Like these last 2 days with the solstice and the moon energy, same. Like those triggers are coming up for release. The depth of darkness that we've just traversed in these last few days is literally what has, like, and I'm talking like we're digging it out. We're digging it out from the root of where it's been held. And this is where now I'm like sharing. I'm deeply connected to this community in Lombok. And at the same time, I'm feeling now this next call of like, I have to go to Ubud, have a conversation with Sasha, connect to New Earth Project, because there's a real deal pioneer. I was trained, we got to release it. And that's our job. If we know how to hold the light through alchemical release, right? That's our job, because we are the way showers, essentially. Yeah, we're heading into a massive breakthrough. 2019, we're going to only continue to feel an acceleration, which is very positive for us and necessary, because most of us are pretty fucking exhausted, to be honest. And then I'm aware of like actual hot love vibration for you. We're here for one another. We know the work, right? And so I'm aware that there's still energetic strongholds like in England, and it's not as deep as we've been. So this is something about things getting a bit lighter and easier, because we need that lightness and power and strength to hold space for the next wave and the next wave coming through, right? At the same time, we're going to see physical manifestation that's going to help support us in supporting more people. So, and again, we have to relinquish all control. None of this makes sense on a rational level in a way, although it does, because we're intuiting with one another, right? Where higher selves are basically channeling the information to shine it with one another, to support one another through the protest, because it's so profound and so deep. And there's still a wave of people in denial, resistance, and kind of corrupted, entangled threads. So we're doing great. Thank you guys so much for all of your love and support with regards to these people in Lombok. We have no idea how much our money and how far it can go to help them rebuild. Like the majority of the people that I've met today, like have been completely destroyed. All that's left is a foundation, and these are, again, and this is part of the, like, that convoluted layer of corruption, is like their governments are like on the news media. I'm feeling on the verge of a breakthrough. We are. This is what I mean about this depth of feeling like, we're going back into the darkness. Like this, literally the last like 3 or 4 days, all I've been able to do is like sleep, eat, and cry. And I've managed to share, but even my shares are emotional. And then I'm having these like waves of patterns coming back where I'm just like, fuck off. Nuh-uh, we're not going there again. Like, I'm not playing these games with these people. I'm not doing this bullshit no more, right? So it's like really time for us to ground in and surrender, let go completely, because everything on that 3D matrix level is crumbling. So economic collapse, various institutional things, the darkness is coming out. It's the darkness coming out, right? The darkness is coming out, which is gonna basically punch that next wave of awakening to take place. And the more people awaken, the more that we're supported in the work that we do. So yeah, thank you guys for your support. And like, I just want to share like the heart love from the actual people of Lombok here. And this is the thing, Violet Melon, same. This is the thing about the people of Lombok here, is like the government is basically like in the media being like, oh yeah, we have like 50 million blah 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 to give to these people, and that I'm talking to the people on the ground who are people who make, like Safai was saying, he makes like he's managed to make 150,000 rupiah in the last 2 months, which is like enough for food basically. And they basically as a community group together to build walls and a bit of shelter for themselves. But hey Erin, hey, I'm still thinking and processing work with you. And the darkness shall be revealed, and we the Jedi light forces are shining that shit out. So yeah, the government is like, oh yes, we're supporting, and we have funds coming to these people whose homes have been completely destroyed by an earthquake. And yet I'm here on the ground floor 5 months later, and no funds have arrived, no support has arrived. And so it's not fucking by chance that the reason I met him was because I just stumbled along. Katie and I were like, let's go to Lombok, we've never been there before. And then I stumble along, need a scooter. He ends up giving me a scooter. I fall off the scooter. Yes, confirmations, all y'all more lovers. Is that like the governments are coming to help, and like we, the people, hence us transforming divide and conquer energy. No one's coming to save us. We just have to love and accept that people are entangled to shit into the dark. and they're ignorant, they're not aware of their power, and they're entangled and corrupted by a dark thread. And it's up to us to transform that from within self. It's always within our own consciousness field that we transform darkness. It's never out there. It's not there to save us. And honestly, I'm not here to power over anybody, but I am here to say that benevolence is fucking grace. Like, all I want to, now this has just encouraged me, like, this is the weird thing, like, they're treating me like a fucking queen because I'm offering them a bit of money that I crowdsourced from all y'all, and then, but I'm the one I feel fucking lucky. I'm the one who feels like so blessed to actually be able to give, and really the truth is, the more you give, the more you want to give, and the more you're just like, fuck off to that greedy system that makes us all think that we have to, like, power over people. And again, there's waves of and layers to it all. So you can see a lot of the younger generation, even here in Indonesia, like they're starting to be corrupted by fucking McWorld that's just bombarding through the airwaves. And yet that's the wave effect. That's like this wave effect of, like, the undercurrent has been uprooted. So we're on the last leg of seeing this kind of corrupted taking over islands and lands and stuff like that. People are rising, and they're rising fast, and those of us who get it, we get it, and all we have to do is hold the light. One of you actually asked me about, like, what do you mean by that? I literally just mean that, like, channel light through your crown chakra from the sun, as pure light as possible, channel it through your whole vessel, and, like, stand down the darkness, basically. Like, hold your light as a fucking Jedi force and bombard any aspect of darkness, even if it's within your own consciousness field. So sometimes it might be an external thing, as in something that you perceive externally, but if you're being triggered emotionally from within, you have the power to channel light from within your vessel to actually transform that darkness and raise it up. And then vision something, and use your imagination to vision something better. I see it as gold these last few days. Nice one. Yeah, gold, white light, any color. Y'all, and this is the thing of, like, this is like me sharing my intuitive sense and connection and all of that, but what I'm fully in recognition, this is why gurudom is old news, and idol worship or any kind of, like, control, manipulation, or power over structure. If that's happening, that's coming from someone's ego. That's coming from someone's, like, lack still, where they're still trying to fucking tell you what to do or tell you how to be. I can share with you my process, but I reckon most of you are already beginning to intuit your own. And there'll be resonances. That's how we're saying, yes. And you guys are reflecting it back to me, like, keep going, because hella, oh my God, it's been a long road. And, like, and there's even, like, threads of, oh, maybe I should stop sharing so vulnerably, or maybe I should, and I'm just like, no one's gonna stop us now. No one's gonna stop us now. Okay, you guys, I'm, like, dripping with sweat, and I'm not gonna put these people, that's not cool. I'm not gonna make people be a part of my YouTube channel, but this is where stuff always put me up, and it's like a lovely bungalow vibes. And again, how lucky am I? This is the thing, like, they're so kind, and I'm just like, no, I'm the lucky one, and really we should just keep finding any which way to siphon money from the wealthy and give it to the poor. Let's all be modern day Robin Hoods, my friends. We know where that's at, because we know, in truth, we don't need to possess anything here. We just want to live free. That's the whole point of the Lightworker movement. Like, we just want to live in peace and freedom. You know, and that's what I think most people often maybe don't get, is that none of this is about, like, well, maybe, and it was, and that's where I've had to learn, I've had to go through a few different revolutionary cycles to fucking hit and purge the ego from within me, because this mission is not about me. Ultimately, it's about this planet. Robin! So yeah, we're all modern day Robin Hoods, and it's all coming from a pure heart love vibration, and ultimately it's just so more people can live in harmony and live in peace, and that we can be free, because truly if we're here, we deserve to be here, and there's a lot of innocent people that deserve to be here and are being fucking squished off, and there's a whole bunch of, like, dark threads that are still going to bombard people's fear consciousness, so it's going to trigger them, right? Oh man. Oh, gee whiz. I could do, actually. And then I'll say goodbye. Do you guys mind seeing me in my bikini? diving in. All right. All right, guys, that's me. I just dove in for you. I just did something spectacular just for you guys. Have an awesome day, my friends. I love you loads.